our training DVD. My name is Chris Lonsdale. I'm the Managing Director of Team Fitness Personal Training. At Team Fitness we help people strip fat and achieve the body of their dreams. Today with our training DVD we're really going to talk about the importance of weight training. It's just so imperative when you make the effort to get to the gym or wherever you train to really give it your all. You know, make sure every single session you're trying to get the most out of you can. Some days you're going to be feeling at your worst, but really try and push yourself to get to the gym, because you'll be surprised some of those days you can really get the most out of it. Remember, with weight training and with training in general, that consistency is the key. Don't rely on motivation, because that's going to let you down every time. You've really got to rely on having a consistent program and consistently do it week after week, and that's going to help you achieve the best results possible. In today's DVD we're going to give you some fantastic tips to take on board, so make sure you utilise it next time you're into your training. Okay, first off we're going to talk about the benefits of cardio training and weight training, and why at Team Fitness we incorporate both forms of training in your personal training sessions, but also in your program sessions as well. Now, weight training has some fantastic benefits around building strength and building a quality, strong physique in your body. Weight training really helps you to build lean muscle mass, which in turn helps to build your metabolism, which is very important if you're looking to get stronger and have a better physique. Cardio training has other benefits in terms of your aerobic fitness and your cardiovascular function. So it's very important that you incorporate some cardio training to help with the heart and lung function, and also incorporate some weight training to really build and strengthen a very good body. So as you can see, cardio and weight training have different benefits, but incorporated together can really help you build a quality physique and a really great form of fitness. So it's really important that in your program and in your sessions you're working very hard with both your weight training and your cardio training. Okay, first off with your training tip we're going to talk about form. It's so important that when you're training with weights you're utilising good form. This is going to help you get the most out of the exercise that you're doing, and make sure you minimise any chance of injuries that you may get from your training. So the exercise we're going to show in terms of form is a lat pull down. In terms of form on this exercise, people often do this quite incorrectly. It's very important with your form you get a nice strong position always to start. Okay, form is how you're performing the exercise. That's what form refers to, how you're performing it. So as you can see on lat pull down, nice strong position to start with, and nice and controlled down to that bottom. So that's showing that we're keeping really good form throughout exercise. You'll often see people jerking this exercise or going to halfway or having the elbows in front of their body. That's a really poor form with this exercise. So making sure, keeping a strong position, coming down in front and back up. Okay, that's what quality form's all about. Okay, next tip we're going to talk about is range of movement, and this is the position from when you start the exercise to where you finish the exercise up. Many people with their exercise aren't utilising a full range of movement, which means you're not getting a full stretch of the muscle and a full contraction of the muscle. The exercise we're going to use here is a shoulder press. We want to get full contraction of the shoulder muscles that we're working. So an example of good range of movement, bring your dumbbells to your starting position, and then pushing right up together. Straight arms at the top, good range of movement to the bottom, touching the tip of the shoulders. Okay, that's the full range of movement. Often with this particular exercise, you'll see people lifting way too heavy and often only going this range. Unfortunately, when they're lifting that sort of range, they're not getting the full stretch and full benefit of the bottom movement right up to the top. So it's very important that when you're doing an exercise such as this, you're getting that full range of movement right through. Okay, so going on with our range of movement, we showed you an upper body exercise. Now we're going to talk about a squatting exercise. Your lower body is made up of a lot of different muscle groups, and if you do a full range of movement in a squat, you're hitting all those major muscle groups really well. If you're doing a poor range of movement, you're failing to really hit those deep muscles. So we're going to move into a squat, getting down, setting myself. It's very important to have a weight that you're comfortable with, that you can get a full range of movement. So with a squat, coming down nice and deep, thighs at least parallel to the ground. That's showing a good range of movement, nice and low. You often see people lifting way too heavy and sort of squatting about a quarter range or half range if they're lucky. Okay, they're failing to hit the major muscle groups, especially through the glutes and the bum, where people really want to target and get the most out of. So as you can see with a squat, nice deep range of movement will really hit the big muscle groups and get the most out of the exercise. So it's very important that when you're doing a squat, or a leg press, or a shoulder press, whatever the exercise is, you're selecting a weight that you can get the full range of movement and get a quality set out. Okay, the next tip we're going to talk about is the speed of movement. We've talked about range of movement, but we're now going to focus on making sure that while you're doing exercise that you're getting the correct speed right. This is really going to make sure you hit those major muscle groups quite hard and you really utilise all your muscle fibres through your whole range. So we're going to utilise a lat raise here to start off, a quality shoulder exercise. Your starting position, dumbbells by the side, nice and controlled up to the top. Really controlled, slowly back down. Okay, it's actually the lowering phase of all exercises, when you're lowering that weight, that places the most demands on the muscles. People often rip it up and then let it drop, or really focus on getting it up and then drop back down. It's so important to get to that top position and control that second half of the movement, because that half of the movement's where most of the demands are being placed on that muscle. So really make sure that's your big focus point. Okay, so we're still focused on the speed of movement. Every bloke's favourite exercise, the old bench press here. This is an exercise that's often done incorrectly in terms of speed of the movement. You really need to focus on that lowering phase to really be hitting those major muscles in the chest. So let's use an example of a quality speed of movement on the bench press. Lifting up, nice and controlled to the bottom of the movement, driving back up to that top position. Controlled back down, driving back up. As you can see both ways, we're not going too fast. Many people in this exercise focus on from the bottom, getting it up to there and then really quick back down and then trying to get it up again. It's really important that you control that lowering phase, that eccentric phase where all the demands are getting placed on your chest. So as you can see, even with the bench press, the shoulder press, your leg exercise, the speed of movement, the movement in the lowering phase is just so important. We're going to talk about max sets. With your program, with your personal trainer, they'll really be working on getting the most out of your max sets. A max set is the maximum amount that you can lift on the final set. It's trying to get the most amount of reps out with good speed, good form and good range of movement. Really focus before the set to set your mind on performing the exercise really well, and really try and push yourself to beat the amount of reps that you did in your previous week. Max sets are just so important to get the most out of your weight training, and so important in getting the results that you're after. Okay, the next point we're going to give you with your training is trying to get your breathing right. It's an area that people don't focus on too much with their weight training, but it's really beneficial to make sure you've got your abdominals and lower back area switched on, your core muscles, and to make sure you're getting the most out of each repetition that you do. We're going to use a lying chest press as an example. Now remember that whenever you're exerting the force, you're pushing or pulling and you're exerting that force is when you're breathing out. So an example is with this one. Starting position, alright, nice and controlled on the way down, that's when we're breathing in. When we're exerting the force, out. In on the way down, out. Okay, when you exert that force, that's when you're exhaling and getting that air out of the lungs. Okay, what that really helps to do with your training is switch on those abdominals. So when you're exerting on force on any exercise, another example is a squat, when you're lowering, breathing out on the way up. When you're exerting that force and the stress is through the centre of your body, your abs are switched on, because as you'll notice when you breathe out hard, your abs contract and your core muscles are really working. Okay, quick tip we're going to touch on is gym etiquette. As you've probably seen now training in the gym, there's certain times of the day when it can get quite busy, so it's really important to understand how the gym etiquette works in terms of utilising equipment. Now if you're going through your program, you can see there's an exercise being used. Don't be afraid to utilise gym etiquette by going up to the person after they've finished their set and asking if you can work in with them. Good gym etiquette is a couple of people utilising the same machine while they're having their rest periods. An example here is, if someone was just utilising this would be my set. I'd quickly jump in, I'd do my set of 8, 10 reps, whatever it is, and I'd jump off, grab my training towel, and they'd be moving on to the next exercise. Okay, so in the gym it's very important to be as hygienic as possible and utilise a training towel while ever you're training. Obviously when you're training you'll be getting a bit sweaty, so it's very important, especially on your benches and everything, to make sure that you're putting a training towel down in the areas you're getting a bit sweaty and lying on it from there. After your set or whatever, just make sure you wipe the bench down or the leg press or the bar, whatever it is, and it just makes it a bit nicer for everyone else in the gym to enjoy. And the final tip is just make sure that once you finish the workout with any of your weights or with any of your plates, make sure you grab your dumbbells and just put them back on the rack where you got them, so we make sure that the gym stays nice and clean and you can find everything and where it's meant to be. Okay, we're also going to quickly touch on abdominals. A lot of people put a lot of focus on building a strong core, and it's very beneficial to have a very strong core. But in terms of abdominal training, it doesn't mean you have to be lying on the ground doing a set of crunches. Abdominal training comes from your whole session that you're doing. Every exercise that you're doing, you should be making sure you're in a nice strong position to start off with, so your abs and your lower back, your core muscles are switched on. A good example of this one is a shoulder press seated with no back support. Sitting up nice and straight, strong position to start, dumbbells by the shoulders and sitting up. Okay, as you can see, I'm sitting up nice and straight, my abs and lower back are switched on and I'm keeping good form. So not only are my shoulders getting a good workout, my core muscles from my back and my abdominals are working really hard because I've got to keep me in that strong position. So in terms of abdominal training, really think about every session that you're doing. Every exercise that you're doing, you've got your abs switched on and you're in a nice strong position when you start the exercise. Okay, so in terms of cardio training, it's just important to make sure you get your technique correct. So we're going to use a stepper example here. It's very important to keep a very strong position throughout the exercise. On the stepper, it's important to have your hands in that high position. A lot of people on the stepper, you see them leaning over or holding on here. It's important to sit up nice and strong, alright, and holding that position at the top of your movement. Then through your exercise, your abs are on, your core's on, and you're not leaning over trying to keep up and putting a lot of stress on your lower back. So as you can see, even with a cardio exercise, it's very important to keep that strong position and keep good technique. Another example is on the treadmill. It's really important that you stand up nice and tall, you're looking forward or you're looking at the display in a strong position. A lot of people get into a position on the treadmill where they're either hanging on or they're trying to hunch over. It's very important to try and relax, be natural with your movement, and make sure you're not hanging on the handrails. We see so many people trying to hang on and put a lot of stress on their back. Just try and walk natural with good form. Even with your running as well, try and keep a strong position. Technique on cardio is just as important. Okay, finally with cardio, it's just important as your weights to get full range of movement. On the rowing exercise, which is a fantastic exercise to be doing in the gym, you can see I'm getting full range of movement right down as deep as I can. It means I'm hitting all the major muscle groups through my legs and my upper body. You see so many people on the rower just doing the half little movements, okay, and they're not keeping good form. They're not keeping their chest up. So making sure, an example like the rower, to get that nice deep range in as far as you can and right back. Get that full range of movement, that gets the muscles working a lot harder, and that's going to get a lot better benefits in the long run.